It's pre-release weekend for the brand new set Obsidian Flames.
Woohoo!
This is our first pack opening of the new set and we are so excited to get our hands on the new Pokemon cards.
But the bad news is, we're splitting up.
Wait, what?
We're going to 2 different pre-release events. I'm heading off to Bristol to Excelsior Games for my pre-release tournament.
And I'm going to Western Supermare's G3 Toys.
Best of luck.
Good luck.
Let's go.
While Emily had to drive an hour away from home to get to Bristol, I, however, could walk to my destination.
And I'm here at G3. I've got everything prepared. I've got my mat, I've got my sleeves. I'm going to go upstairs now and grab my pre-release kit and see what we can pull.
This is G3's first time ever hosting a Pokemon pre-release event, and it was a great turnout. Everyone was excited to be here, and atmospheres like this are always so contagious. It was a joy to see. And with the build and battle kits ready to be handed out, it's time to get ripping into some packs.
I'm back here at Excelsior, where I've played plenty of pre-release tournaments in the past, and I'm ready to go for my next one. Let's go and try and pull some Charizards and have an amazing time playing some games. It was great walking in and seeing some familiar faces straight off the bat. I've got it. Just waiting for us to be able to open them so we can see what goodies are hiding inside. Let's see if it's better than Pal of old pre-release. Our judge Jacko read out the rules for today. It would be a 3-round best of 1 play tournament using only the contents of our build and battle boxes.
There's not really a lot to say, so open the box, I suppose.
Woo! Marwile! I pulled the Marwile Pro. I wasn't the best I could have got, but it had some real base potential. Moving on, let's see what I can pull my 4 packs and build into my pre-release deck. There she is, Kate Marley. Oh, Rowlet's cute. Oh, nice. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. It's probably going to... Oh, there's something in his... I think there might be... I don't know, it might be they're hollow, but there was something weird sparkle at the back. Charmeleon. Oh, nice.
Very nice indeed. Proper cool, but I'm happy with the platform.
Is that something? Is that?
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Wow.
Yes! Oh my god, that's so good.
Now everyone had a pre-release kit in hand, it was time to see what was inside our box.
So I'm going to start a half-hour timer for building now.
Go, 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 go!
Alright, let's see what we got. Come on, Palafin, that's what we want. Okay, we got Cleffa. I'm okay with that.
These 40 cards would be the base structure of my deck, and the only improvements being made with the cards I pull from these 4 packs. So Arceus, bless my pulls.
Alright, so we got our 4 packs. 3 Charizards, is that a sign?
Oh, let's see what I get. Imagine. At least I have 3 codes. Hey, yeah, codes. They're always
Yay!
Yeah.
That's a good first hit. I'll take that. Ah. Alright. Come on, Arceus, bless my balls. Deodo. I'll take another EX any day of the week.
Dude, you got
2 EXs?
Oh, so you... That's evil. Let me see that. I guess.
Come on, can we see an art rare this time? No art rare. And a Togekiss. Last pack magic.
I got 15 EX. Very similar to a different artwork from another set.
Come on, Coffee X. Nice.
Pretty sure?
It was great to see all the amazing cards everyone had pulled, as well as helping and giving advice on constructing their decks. I then sat down to read every card and piece together what would be my deck for the tournament.
So this is my deck profile. Very simple Pokemon lineup, playing 4 Numel and 3 Camerupt, mainly to get to that Eruption attack from the Camerupt, where you discard the top card of each player's deck, and this attack does 100 more damage for each energy discarded, meaning I can do up to 250 damage, which is so good. I'm playing the 2 different EXs, and then I'm playing the Togepi to Togekiss line, 3 Togepi, 2 Togetic, 2 Togekiss, mainly just to get to that Togekiss's ability, Precious Gift, where at the end of my turn, after attacking, I can draw up till I have 8 cards in my hand, which is so good. And the fact they're all colourless energy attacks means that if I need to attack with them, it should be super easy to attack. And I'm still playing the Cleffa. I know a couple of people have opted to not play it, but I feel the 0 energy cost where you draw until you have 7 cards, and the fact it's got free retreat, which means it can pivot out the active, I think is too useful to not play, to be honest. Not a very heavy trainer lineup, unfortunately. I didn't really pull any decent trainers out of any of my packs. I do have a Rhyme, Youngster, and Nimona for draw power. I wish I had a bit more draw power. It's weird not having a Professor's Research. And obviously that one rare candy for being able to evolve the Togepi straight into Togekiss. So I'm really hoping to get my hands on that quickly, along with a Togekiss, and then we can start drawing deeper into the deck. So hopefully this low trainer count doesn't make as big as an impact.
And for my energy lineup, I'm playing 9 fire energies. I want to see those fire energies as soon as possible for my Camerupt. I'm playing the 4 water energies for the SQ, and I'm playing 2 fighting energy for the Cloth.
Going into my deck profile, I was advised to go with the Toxtricity Evoline over the Camerupt. This is because the Loud Mix does 30 extra attack per each typing of Pokemon on my bench. And with 5 different typings in my deck, this can be really effective for some heavy attacks. I was also very fortunate to pull both the Glimmet and the Combi, meaning I could take advantage of their evolutions which I pulled from my pre-release box. Glamora's ability, Dust Field, shuts down my opponent's bench, leaving just 3 spaces available to them. And Vesper's Queen's Phantom Queen attack could not only hit for 200, but also damage any injured Pokemon on the opponent's bench. I also included Solrock, Cleffa and Ordino because they all have some very useful search attacks. For my trainer cards, I was very fortunate that I get to have Nimona, Professor's Research, 2 Youngsters and 2 Nest Balls. Ryan's effect will become really useful because not only do I get to draw 3 cards, but I also get to switch out my opponent's active Pokemon onto their bench. The new item card, Letter of Encouragement, is very useful because if your opponent has knocked you out in your previous turn, you get to search up to 3 basic energy cards, reveal them and put them into your hand. And with a range of different typings in my deck, I needed to make sure I had enough energies to go with the Vesper Queen, the Glamora and the Toxtricity line.
Round 1.
My first opponent was against Liam, who regularly attends pre-release events with his son and was celebrating their 1-year anniversary of gaming together. We both started off with 1 Pokemon each, his Toxel versus my Cleffa. My first turn consisted of setting my Glimmet down and attaching an energy to be prepared in case I was able to search for my Glamora as soon as possible. With Artisan Stadium in play, I was able to search my deck and fish out the Combi, as well as check and see if their evolutions were prized or not. Liam was able to get the first blood after evolving his Toxel and taking out my Cleffa. I used the Artisan again to get my Ordino onto my bench before Liam used his Toxicity to get the second knockout. This gave me advantage to bring up and attach an energy to Ordino and use the attack Find a Friend and finally pull out my Glamora. After taking out Ordino and gaining his third prize, I was getting a little worried that everything had arrived too late. Luckily, after placing Glimora in the attack spot, I drew into the second fighting energy I really needed. Dustfield's ability meant that the opponent had to remove 2 Pokemon from his bench, leaving only 3 Pokemon remaining. This ability meant that I had shut down his deck, and it made him very difficult to come back and find a Pokemon with a high enough attack to take out my Glimora, which secured my first win of the tournament.
My first round was a mirror match, and my opponent Matthew won the dice roll, opting to go first with a simple energy attachment. In my first turn, I was able to build up my bench until I had a single card left in my hand, then using Cleffa's grasping draw attack for no energy to draw until I had 7 cards in my hand. Matthew was quickly able to evolve his Numel into Camerupt and attach a second energy to destroy the Cleffa with a first knockout. I pushed up the Togepi, evolving both the Togepi into Togetic and Numel into Camerupt, choosing to attach another energy to the Togetic and attacking for 40 damage, when I should have attached it to the Camerupt instead, as Matthew continued to wreak havoc, taking out the Togetic. My opponent now having a 2-prize lead, I needed a turn to power up my Camerupt, so I had to sacrifice the Numel so I could safely bring out the Camerupt, who was then able to use its own eruption attack, luckily hitting the energy off the discard from the top of the deck for 150 damage. With only Togepi left, Matthew had the rare candy to evolve it straight into Togekiss and used the Power Cyclone attack for 110 damage. I then used Eruption and again hitting the energy off the top deck for 150 damage, winning my first round. With my game being one of the first to finish, it was so great to see everyone focusing on their game and having so much fun. I couldn't wait for round 2.
Represent.
My YouTube.
Round 2.
My second game was against Michelle, who I had previously faced as my second opponent back at the Paldea Evolve pre-release, so it was nice to see a familiar face. Starting off with the Ordino in play and full up Glimora in my hand, this was the perfect combo to planning out my next couple of moves. Using my 2 Nest Balls straight off to search for the Glimmet and Combi and place them onto my bench, before using Ordino's Find a Friend move to hunt down my Vesper Queen. Michelle then brought up her Ordino and evolved her Toxel into Toxtricity before using Youngster to refresh her hand. In my next move, I drew into my first fighting energy to start powering up my Glimmet before evolving both my bench Pokemon into their evolutions. Michelle laid up her bench and used Rare Candy for her Togepi to be able to use Togekiss's Precious Gift ability of drawing until you have 8 cards in hand. Stalling my next turn, I didn't want to retreat my Ordino as I had the trainer card Letter of Encouragement in my hand, which could be used if my Pokemon was knocked out and I could search for the second fighting energy. Retreating her Ordino and using her Toxtricity to knock out my Pokemon, she took her first prize. This then activated my item card on my next turn so I could finally power up my Glimora for my first knockout. Retreating her Togekiss for her Togepi, I then took it out for my second prize before she brought up her Toxtricity and failed the dice roll to paralyze me. If she'd been successful, this would have stalled my next turn with no way of retreating or healing the Prerelease. With getting an attack from Togekiss, I then retreated my Glimora for my Vesper Queen to ensure I didn't lose my Pokemon for a 2-prize win. I then attached the final grass energy I needed to take the final knockout. Well done Michelle for an excellent defense and a great game.
My next opponent was Greg's mascot Callum, playing a Palafin Togekiss deck, Water against Fire. Callum opted to go second, which was fine with me, as I wanted to get the first energy attachment and turbo in the camera into taking quick early knockouts. Callum was able to do something similar with his Venison's attack, Brave Evolution. This allowed him to evolve into his Palafin on his first turn, which had me sweating knowing he was going to hit me for weakness. I was able to evolve my Numel into Camera and knock out the new Venison in the active and taking the first prize. Callum started bulking out his bench with Pokemon, attaching a second energy and revenge hitting the Camerupt for a knockout. Palafin's Justice Kick only does damage if it's moved to the active this turn. As it was promoted to the active at the end of the previous turn, the Justice Kick would do no damage. But this is an accepted game state now. I'm sure it'll be fine. After that little mess up, I was trying to keep my Numel safe, and I finally got lucky with a rare candy top deck and started to chip away at my opponent's Pokemon with my Togepi, eventually taking my second prize and felt like I was crawling it back. The Togekiss finally went down after being poked with damage for many turns, but I was now back in a safe spot where the Palafin had no way to switch in and out of the active to hit me for maximum damage. I now had Camerupt and Togekiss back, and even with 40 damage a turn, I kept pushing and eventually using Rhyme to force Callum to switch the active Palafin, and he brought up his fully powered up Togekiss, to which the Camerupt destroyed with a whopping 250 damage. I knew the Camerupt wouldn't survive the next attack from the Palafin, but it was right where I wanted it. Now the Togekiss could easily swoop in and in 2 turns knock out the Palafin and earning me my second win.
Winning! So how do you feel, Gregs?
Don't ever come into my stores ever again. You are banned. Banned for life.
But I like the steak bakes.
No steak bakes. No sausage rolls.
Round 3.
My game 3 was against Sam, aka SS7TCD, who I actually faced first in my Paldea Evolved at the last pre-release event. We both started with one basic Pokemon each, him with his Numel and myself with Toxel, getting the first hit in before he used his Numel attack Hot Magma to hit me for 20 and burn my Pokemon, which I quickly defused with a successful Coin Flip. I then retreated Toxel from my Ordino to start using Find a Friend to hunt down my combi, as I had the Vespiquen waiting in my hand, including several grass energies. After attacking and burning the Ordino, I evolved into Vespiquen and began powering it up. The next few turns were aimed at protecting any Pokemon from being knocked out, whilst it would take a while to get all 3 grass energies onto my Vespiquen, all while Sam was hunting down his Camerupt. He then finally took out my Toxel and took the first prize card of the game. I was able to stall with my Ordino for a turn before finally finding that last grass energy and swapping out to bring Vespiquen forward for the attack, and then taking my very first prize card. Sam then used Rhyme to force me to swap it out and draw 3 cards for himself. Unfortunately, his Bouffalon then took out my Toxel to secure him his second prize card before my Vespiquen came up and took down his Pokemon. With 2 prize cards remaining each, Sam then brought out his Camerupt and had his Palafin waiting on his bench. The game was starting to reach dangerous waters and I was very nervous of what was coming next. With Camerupt then using its famous eruption attack, we both threw into an energy card, giving it the extra 200 attack it needed against my Vespiquen, leaving only 20 HP left. I then used my own Rhyme trainer card to draw and switch out the Camerupt to save me for another turn. He then attached the second Water Energy and retreated the Palafin to bring back Camerupt to the field. This was it, the moment of truth. When Sam used his eruption move, I held my breath as I drew into a Pokemon luckily. Sam drew into the fire energy he needed, hitting me for that extra 100 and securing his victory. Congratulations Sam, and I look forward to facing you again in the future events. We're 1 for 1, so next pre-release event, let's see who will win.
This was it, my final game of the tournament against a Toxtricity Turbo deck. Losing the dice roll, my opponent made me go first, and with the cards in my hand, I was excited but retained a poker face. Starting with a Numel and Togepi and attaching the fire energy to the Numel was a perfect start, but my opponent wasted no time in filling out his bench and using Togepi's whiny voice attack to randomly remove a card from my hand back into the deck. I had a Camerupt in hand and was praying hard I didn't lose it, but luck was on my side as I only lost one of the 2 fire energies in hand. So this meant I could evolve the Numel, attach an energy and knock out the Togepi for a quick 1 prize lead. Evolving his Toxel and Togepi and then passing put me in a very strong position, as I could sit on the Camerupt and attack everything he brought up. Using Youngster to refresh my hand and drew me into another Numel, Ultra Ball and Rare Candy, but I just went for the Eruption, hitting another energy off the top of the deck for a 150 damage knockout. With my opponent now massively on the back foot and not able to attach enough energies to make a counterattack, I continued to use Eruption each turn and knocking out a Pokemon for a swift and decisive victory. I'd done it, I'd won all of my 3 games and come first place. All that was left to do was open these 3 packs.
8th place, Emily!
Woo! Thank you! After such an amazing day, I couldn't believe I came 8th. That's the best I've ever done in a pre-release tournament so far. So now it's time to crack open my packs, but unfortunately I'd had all my luck in my pre-release box, so didn't get any spicy pulls to finish me off. However, Kyle next to me had so much luck, he pulled the ultimate chase card for Obsidian Flames, the Charizard Secret Art Rare. Absolutely stunning card. I do prefer this version over the gold and also the full art, so Pokemon, well done for actually getting a Charizard looking flawless. I'm so glad everyone had an amazing time at the pre-release event and cannot wait to see you all at the next one.
Winner, get my 3 packs. Let's see what's in them.
You're not opening yours? Come on, last pack magic.
Should I build my fire water deck?
Should I build my
Yeah, double! It was great to share this event with so many passionate players and collectors, and we all cheered and celebrated for every card pulled.
What a fitting price for coming first place. Yes, amazing. And our other hits as well. This pre-release has just been fantastic.
I think I can speak for both Emily and myself and say that we both had an amazing pre-release weekend, and even though we were in 2 different locations, the heart of the Pokemon community is everywhere. Pre-release is such a great time of the year where old and new fans can come together and share in the excitement of opening a new set and have fun playing the game too. Let us know in the comments, did you go to Obsidian Flames pre-release? And if so, what was your favourite card you pulled? Make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for continuing to share in our Pokemon journey. We'll see you at the next pre-release.